All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this one before we start. Please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. We got some crazy people out here that is still threatening President Trump's life, especially like the video that we just covered yesterday. Shout out to the FBI. Shout out to Cash Patel and like I said, Pam Bundy for going to go pick up this guy that was at his house making all these threats, talking about what he was going to do to President Trump. And then come to this video right here. President Trump is not playing around. Y'all been seeing like a lot of these protests been like blocking up these highways and stuff like this. And now President Trump is not playing around. He even got like ICE, the FBI, they going out in the middle of the streets, in the middle of the highways, stopping their police cars to get out and to get a lot of these illegal aliens out of that crowd. So y'all pretty much helping the FBI. If y'all gonna keep on protesting, then y'all already don't supposed to be here. Y'all already here illegally. So it makes it a lot easier for ICE just get out their car and come and arrest all of them. And that right there is exactly what just happened. So we definitely finna go ahead and check this out. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And shout out to the ones that always stay to the end. I really, really appreciate it. And let me know in the comment section that you did stay until the end. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, it was really only a matter of time now, wasn't it? You know, I made this call back in February when we were getting reports that illegal immigrants were organizing protest events, and in that case, blocking a freeway in Los Angeles, waving foreign flags, chanting allegiance to Mexico as they, ironically, protest not being sent back to Mexico. Not exactly how that works. But I responded to one of those videos posted by Clown World on X, and I wrote this back in February. It's easier when they all come together like that. And that was just the most obvious thing that came to mind. You got all these illegal aliens, I guess, flaunting the fact that they broke federal immigration law with this brilliant plan of showing up in mass in a giant group all in one place in public on video to protest with these anti-ICE slogans surrounded by many fellow illegal aliens. I mean, eventually it had to happen, right? What did they think was going to happen? It was bound to backfire at some point at one of these events. Likely some wanted individuals would embed themselves in the crowd, and it was all bound to backfire with an ICE raid hitting one of these gatherings. And well, what do you think just happened? Exactly that. Let me show you guys what's going on here. It seems as though ICE has adopted a brand new strategy in their deportation targeting of illegal migrants. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on and why I think it's relevant in the larger conversation. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so exactly like I said, it seems as though ICE has brought this exact strategy into their playbook. They're now raiding anti-ICE protests, grabbing illegal aliens embedded in the crowd. Take a look. So things seem to be escalating, and I know the professional victims and activists are going to be horrified by this. Ooh, it's the modern Trumpian American Gestapo using Nazi tactics against these vulnerable people. But please spare me the sanctimony. It's obvious what's happening here. They've most likely identified people in those crowds who have deportation orders or criminal records. And what better place to grab these individuals when they all come congregating out in public free for the pickings? You know, some people are horrified by it. Other people understand it, and they're probably saying, finally. You know, again, it may not be for the faint of heart, but it's necessary. Allowing people to usurp border laws has gone on for far too long, and it's clearly brought on devastating consequences, not just from the perspective of public safety, but also for working class communities. And very simply, spare me the sanctimony, spare me the sob stories. I think what a lot of people are thinking is, it's time to take this issue seriously and round up those who have broken the law and send them home. And so again, while some people are probably horrified by the clip, others are probably reassured because the Trump administration is sending a message that they're not joking around. It's not just campaign rhetoric. They're building up a serious, strategic, multi-phase operation to find...
Exactly. Like I mentioned before, President Trump is doing exactly what he promised to the American people. He's doing everything he promised, and it's just disgusting to see the Democrats take up for these illegal aliens. So how do the Democrats expect to win in 2028, but yet they showing who they really are, which we already knew who they really are. We know that they fake. They don't care about the American people. They care about illegal aliens more than they care about the American people. You got Democrat that is fighting for President Trump, pretty much want President Trump to leave illegal aliens in this country, and they don't care about what they did to Lake and Riley and any other person that got harmed. Democrats don't care about anybody but themselves and the illegal aliens, of course. So like I said, President Trump is doing everything that he promised, and he's delivering on it.
Detain and deport illegal migrants. And it's good that we're seeing continued action and an updating to the strategy book here, because that's what people are looking for, an escalation. You know, there's been a lot of Trump supporters that have been disillusioned and kind of dooming online lately. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but Trump supporters are saying that, you know, the deportation numbers are not what they hoped for. The pace isn't picking up fast enough. You know, sure, they've done a phenomenal job at stopping the flow at the southern border, but deportations have started off a whole lot slower. We could take a look at the actual numbers here. Homeland Security officials announced recently that ICE carried out over 32,000 arrests in the first 50 days of the Trump administration.
Wow.
And that includes 14,000 migrants with criminal convictions, nearly 10,000 with pending criminal charges, and more than 8,700 immigration violators. Yeah, that comes out to roughly 640 deportations a day. You know, it's not that big bombshell number that I think a lot of people were looking for, but also at the same time, I think there's a lot of nuance to the number. You know, by comparison, firstly, I've been struggling to find the full scope of numbers from the Biden administration, but I did find a report from back in 2021 where there were 4,969 arrests. Now, we don't even know if all those people were deported, but essentially, in that same period under the Trump administration, nearly 12,000 people were arrested, and all of those people, or at least probably all of those people, near unanimously, they were all deported. So right now, the Trump administration is more than doubling the pace from the Biden administration, and so it seems like it's headed towards the right direction, but obviously, I understand it's not enough. I'm just not buying into the dooming yet. It's been 3 months since the administration took power, and obviously, we know the scale of this problem is absolutely massive, and again, we know the initial phase is focused on targeting criminals, gang members, repeat offenders, those who are already
thinking about that, man. Think about that. Over 32,000 arrests made already, and we don't think that Joe Biden them deported any illegal aliens, because we, like I said, we just found out that he gave all these illegal aliens social security numbers. And the IRS was trying to hide it because at first, remember, the IRS didn't even want to give President Trump the information because President Trump wants the information of these illegal aliens because it make it easier to track them down to know where they at. And remember, at first, the IRS didn't even want to give them the information. The IRS just turned over the information because it make it a lot easier for President Trump to go find these illegal aliens that Joe Biden gave them social security numbers. Like, this is crazy. The Biden administration gave illegal aliens social security numbers, gave them social security numbers to the one that don't even supposed to be here, that's here illegally, and gave them social security numbers. Think about it, President Trump would have done that. This all CNN and MSNBC will be talking about. Oh, look what President Trump did. He gave illegal aliens social security number. He should be arrested for that. He should be this. They'll be running with it if Donald Trump did that. They will be running with that. So that's what I'm talking about right there, man. But shout out to President Trump, over 32,809 arrests made. Man, let's go.
To ICE that are in the court systems or have been in the court systems. The first phase of the mass deportation effort isn't to go raid every kitchen in America or find every landscaper and mass deport them overnight. No, the first priority is preventing another Lake and Riley situation from happening. And look, that's not an easy job. ICE has to go through all of these lists. They have to go through these extensive investigations. They have to work with counties and states that don't want to work with them, target all the worst offenders, and work on these operations to get them off the streets. The reality is that's complex work. It's the first priority of this administration, and it's going to take time for them to develop, let's just say, a process or a science for conducting these operations wide scale, effectively, and in mass. So I think that's likely what's happening, and that's likely what happened in the video that I showed you guys earlier. While it's fun to say, oh look, it's an anti-ICE protest, and ICE comes in and takes all the people off the streets, again, my thought process is, my assumption is, that they were most likely after specific people in that crowd. But again, I don't think this means that they're only going to go after the criminals and let everybody else stay in the country immediately. I mean, on top of these raids, they've already done something which I think is quite significant. They've completely restructured the CBP One app as a self-deportation tool, and now they're sending a pretty serious warning to illegal migrants. Deport yourself now through the tool, or you might find yourself in a little bit of a sticky situation.
The deadline for registration under the Alien Registration Act is today. All foreign nationals present in the United States longer than 30 days must register with the federal government. Failure to comply with this is a crime, punishable by fines, imprisonment, or both. As President Trump and Secretary Noem have both said, if you register and you leave now, you choose to self-deport. You may have the opportunity to return later legally, but if not, you will be arrested, fined, deported, never to return to our country again. The Trump administration will continue to enforce our nation's immigration laws. We will not pick and choose which laws to enforce. We must know who is in our country for the safety and the security of our homeland and for all American citizens.
Caroline Leavitt announces.
Man, shout out to Caroline Leavitt. And think about it, President Trump giving them a chance to, hey, just deport yourself, just leave. But if you don't leave and we find you, it's going to be a problem. Your ass going to prison. You're going to prison. So he giving them, 30 days? Hey, pretty much deport yourself. Leave the country. If you're here illegally, leave the country while you got a chance. Leave the country.
Is that if you do not deport yourself, you could face massive fines and a permanent ban from the country, never to be allowed back in legitimately ever again. And so clearly they're thinking of intelligent and cheap, effective ways to get people out of the country without spending billions of dollars in taxpayer funds. You know, that's smart policy, and it also seems good faith, especially as they're leaving the door open saying, if you cooperate, you might get access to come into the country legally in the future. And I think that's an important message to send, especially since the media seems so obsessed with focusing on these very specific sob stories, doing these character profiles of these illegal migrants that are being deported who have families or have worked or have paid taxes. It's almost as if they're making it seem as if the Trump administration is cruel and inhumane. But I think they've really approached this carefully and thoughtfully. You know, while the media is focused on a couple people who have been deported because they had deportation orders, but they'd been in the country for 20 years and established roots. So, and
I said that in the beginning, that it's just disgusting to even just see. And like, we all know the reason why CNN, all these people on the left, the Democrats, we know why they doing this. They know that Donald Trump is doing the right thing by getting these illegal aliens out of here. They know that. But they hate Donald Trump so much that they just can't see themselves siding with him. They just don't want to agree with him on anything, even though they know he's right. But they just refuse to get on TV and tell the truth and say, you know what? I don't like Donald Trump, but man, he's doing what needs to be done. They don't even want to say that because they just hate him so much. And this rate, it is just sick that these people have so much hate for President Trump when he's doing everything he promised he was going to do. He said this. But yet, Democrats are still crying, playing victim, and blaming Donald Trump for everything he said he was going to do. And we all know that this man is doing the right thing. Because, like I said, the thing that happened to Lake and Riders and the other victims and stuff like that, and he's trying to stop that from happening to other people in the United States. But yet, CNN, Democrats, they just can't fathom it. They just got to go against Donald Trump. It makes them feel good every day to get up and just talk crap about Donald Trump.
So, you know, they could send a sad sob story out there. The reality is, illegal migrants who haven't caused trouble aren't even targets right now. And that's not to say that they're going to be allowed to stay in the country. No, it's just that the Trump administration isn't stupid. They know illegal workers are deeply embedded across the economy, and launching a full-scale mass deportation overnight, well, the reality is it would likely cause real economic disruption. So the strategy here seems to be that more of a slow recalibration. Clean up the worst cases first, get all the criminals out, enforce real consequences, create this app that allows people to self-deport. It's not going to get everybody out of the country, but slowly but surely people will use it. Who knows, maybe a couple thousand a month might leave the country, especially if there's warnings and harsh consequences if you don't, and then slowly but surely start to tackle the issue of realigning the workforce. Obviously, the goal is putting American citizens first, restoring order, prioritizing American jobs, and then slowly over time, start to tackle the solutions for really bottom-of-the-barrel jobs that Americans clearly don't want to do in a structured, lawful, and sane way. You know, carry out these deportations slowly over a long stretch of time so you could pull people out of the country, then try to get Americans who want to work in those jobs, and then fill in the gaps with actual legal temporary work visas, and slowly start to do things right. The simple fact is, It's not a problem you could fix overnight. We're talking about a broken immigration system that's been allowed to fester for decades. And good chunks of the economy are dependent on low-skilled, cheap, illegal foreign labor. That's just a fact. So I wouldn't doom just yet. It seems as though the Trump administration is slowly trying to figure out the situation, how they're going to navigate it. They're focused on the first priority, and clearly there's phases to the system here. And so we'll have to monitor this situation and see exactly how it plays out. But anyways, that's pretty much what's up.
Salute to Liberal High Mind. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. Let him know in the comment section that DAREALADOGG sent you. He's a great content creator, man, doing his thing over there. Salute to Liberal High Mind. But I definitely had to bring y'all this video because, like I said, President Trump is not playing around. He got ICE going on the highway now, because this is what a lot of these illegal aliens been hiding at, been in these protests. So they say, you know what, every time y'all have these little protests where all y'all come together, it make it that much easier for us to get out and get you and throw you in the back of the car. It makes it that much easier. So like I said, salute to President Trump for doing his thing, because the man have kept his promise. He's doing everything he said he was going to do. Can't nobody say not one thing that Donald Trump has not done yet. I mean, prices are coming down, mortgage. I mean, everything is going the way that President Trump said it would if he got elected. And like I said, President Trump said the same thing. He can't make these people happy. He can't make Democrats happy no matter what he do. He just can't make them happy because they just hate him so much. He pretty much can't do anything right in their eyes. They just got to find something wrong. Oh, Donald Trump is lying to the American people. These people talking about President Trump is lying to the American people when they don't even care about the American people. How y'all gonna play both sides, like the Democrat acting like they care about the American people, but then at the same breath they talking about why Donald Trump's getting illegal aliens out of here. You got Jasmine Crockett and AOC fighting for illegal aliens. So y'all saying y'all care about illegal aliens and the American people when the illegal aliens is the one that's harming the American people. It just don't make any sense at all. But like I said, thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.